Hey, this is Ish Monroe, Simms Pro. We're starting to get into the fall and the winter where, we're really starting to get some cold nights and a little bit of warm days. And, you want to stay warm, you want to stay dry. I want to talk to you guys about what we call layering. And with Simms, they allow you to do it. They have basically a full system starting from boxers all the way up to a full rain suit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the Wader Wick boxers briefs that I actually wear pretty much all the time. With these boxer briefs, what you're doing is you're actually able to pull the moisture from your body. It also comes in a full pant for you. It's basically your base layer. It's kind of like what I call my second skin. From the Wader Wick pant to the Wader Wick boxer shorts to the Wader Wick shirt, which is basically, once again, my base layer. Starting to be able to pull the moisture away from my body to keep me dry, and it helps to keep me warm. So then we move on to my second layer, and that would be the Merino zip top, which is basically made out of wool, and what it's going to do is it's actually going to create the heat that your body needs. It contains the heat on the inside. When you actually start getting cold, you're going to have that cold chill that cuts through you the whole day, and this is going to actually keep your body heat internally. And from there, I'll actually go into a third layer, and that's the Merino, to actually seal the deal on that warmness, is to make sure that none of it gets out. So as you can see, these are a lot of thin layers, so you can actually, when you're doing layering, you're coming from one layer to the next layer through the course of the day. You're going to start out fully dressed, and you're going to work your way down as it actually gets warmer. This here, the Wader Wick's going to pull the moisture off your body. The Merino's going to keep the heat on the inside, and this is just going to be your extra layer to cover over the top of that to keep you solidly warm. On a rainy day, which is something that I wear most of the time, is the Pro Dry suit. The Pro Dry suit is basically 100% Gore-Tex. It's going to keep the rain and the water off you 100%. That's what I really love about this jacket, and as you can see, it's also light. When you're out there fishing and you're making, 1,500, 2,000 casts in a day, you can't have a bunch of heavy stuff on top of you and really hard to cast, or say you fall out of the boat, you not have any mobility. Simms allows you to do layering and continuously have a lot of mobility when you're out there. I will match this up with the bibs on those rainy days. Well, there's those times where you wake up and it's windy. I will change again to the Windstopper jacket. The Windstopper jacket is not going to let any wind cut through you. Those cold, windy days. And once again, I'm still basing this as my top layer. So no wind. It's not made for, rainy days. I go to the Pro Dry suit on those, but then I'll go to the Windstopper jacket. Pro Dry pant. With the Pro Dry pant, basically this is going to keep the water off you, moisture in the morning if you're not, into the bib, or for you don't really want to go to the full rain suit. The guide pant itself basically is my everyday pant that I will wear just running around doing things. It's going to keep you warm, when it's got a little chill, and it's going to keep you cool when the sun actually gets out. But if you get, in those really cold days like we had at the Classic, we actually have a fully insulated pant that we wear that keeps you super duper warm. At one point it was snowing on the last day of practice at the Classic, and it was almost the point where I was actually getting really hot and sweating, and that's why I said going back to having this full system to pull the moisture off your body to not let you get cold. The last thing that I do is the baklava, is wear this, in the wintertime, fully insulated, a full hood. So if I'm wearing the Windstopper, I don't necessarily have to wear a hoodie. I've got the baklava right here that's going to pretty much keep my neck warm, keep the back of my head warm, and actually cover my whole head. I always team them up with the Wader socks, which are really warm, they're really insulated, and it also has that same deal that pulls the moisture off your body. And once again, wearing the Simms shoes that are super duper comfortable. So folks, if you take this and start layering, one, you're going to have less fatigue when you're out there fishing because you're not struggling with your clothes. Two, you're going to stay warm, dry, and comfortable all day in a day of fishing, especially when the weather starts to get nasty. You go out there and you start layering with the Simms gear, you're definitely going to catch more fish and have a lot more enjoyable day out there.